Xbox will look completely different in the next few weeks. We got new rumors about the potential studio closures and way more. But we also have good news about Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, GTA 6, and a big September title potentially moving forward. So a ton of gaming news to go over. Good that you're joining this Sunday news roundup, and let's go. It really seems to be happening. GTA 6 pre-orders are opening this coming week on June 25th at digital storefronts and select retailers, which very likely means Rockstar plans to hit that November 19th release date. We also got a look at the cover art, which looks awesome and is very much in line with previous GTA box art. You got your helicopter on the left, a motorcycle on the right, a woman in the center left, an animal hidden somewhere in the artwork, a water vehicle, a car. It's safe, but again, I think it looks great. Now, on the official website, we can take a look at Vice City at night, lit up by countless lights, where we can also spot ray-traced reflections in action for many of the buildings. Although notably not for the Ferris wheel. Like, this is GTA 6 coverage for you. Every tiny detail gets analyzed. People are now wondering why the Ferris wheel does not have a reflection on the water. Digital Foundry made an article about it, good for them, and as you would expect, it's hard to draw conclusions based on such a short clip, but right now it could simply be that certain objects don't use ray trace lighting to save GPU resources on what will be more than 6-year-old consoles by launch. Now let's hope we get an actual new trailer on June 25th when pre-orders go live. I would honestly be shocked if Rockstar does not show new footage to promote these pre-orders. We will at least learn about the Deluxe Edition and Collector's Edition and of course the pricing. I'm kind of 50-50. I, for one hand, think they will stick with the standard $70 or 80 euros price tag and then charge more for premium editions, but it could honestly go either way. I just think that if they raise the standard price, then that will be what dominates the headlines. GTA 6 pre-orders are open, but Rockstar is charging $10 more, or maybe even more, for the standard edition. Whereas if they stick to normal prices, then the excitement can remain and fully focus on pre-orders finally opening. We will see. While everything else in the world has become more expensive, game prices have remained relatively stable in comparison, and Rockstar could get away with charging $80 for GTA 6, so there's totally a possibility that they will do it. But my hope is that they stick for the standard edition to the normal price and then offer like a $100 deluxe edition with goodies. They are going to make an absurd amount of money anyway, even before GTA Online microtransactions enter the equation. Let me know your price expectations in the comments and whether you are planning to pre-order on June 25th or will wait. So while Rockstar will likely be making an enormous amount of money this week, just like PlayStation and Xbox, which take a 30% cut for every copy sold, it might also be a very bleak week for the industry as we learn more about the so-called bloodbath happening at Xbox. In last week's Sunday video, I already talked about Microsoft's 3% profit margin and how the new CEO stated that this situation cannot continue, like 3% is very, very bad. She's planning a major reset, which as expected includes layoffs, although they might be even larger than many realize. Earlier this week, reports surfaced suggesting that Compulsion Games, the studio behind We Happy Few and South of Midnight, Double Fine, the creators of Psychonauts 2, Keeper and Kiln, and Ninja Theory, the studio behind Hellblade, are among the teams facing potential closure. However, multiple Xbox studios are in negotiation to spin off to avoid closure, according to sources. So it is entirely possible that these developers won't disappear, but instead return to being independent. Xbox already knew when they announced Senua during the Xbox showcase not so long ago that Ninja Theory would not remain part of Microsoft long term. Many people found that wild, but I actually think showcasing that game could help Ninja Theory find a buyer or publishing partner by demonstrating that there's genuine interest in Senua, which launches next year. Although it is admittedly strange that Microsoft announced the game as a day one Game Pass title when that could obviously change if the studio leaves Xbox. So the negotiations between Microsoft and these studios have multiple layers, but the big subject is IP ownership. Microsoft still benefits from retaining franchises like Psychonauts and Hellblade because then these titles can remain on Game Pass. We've recently seen Toys for Bob spin-off from Xbox, while still working on Spyro, but Spyro remains owned by Microsoft. So that is something we might see for these other studios as well. But the reality is that Microsoft's strategy is shifting away from simply filling up Game Pass and more towards generating revenue through game sales and strengthening their own ecosystem. And from that perspective, it unfortunately makes sense that studios known for relatively niche games are now under pressure, but many reports indicate that these cuts go much deeper. A key part of Xbox's new strategy moving forward is focusing resources on their biggest franchises, which honestly is something we see nearly every major publisher do right now. Making a modern AAA game easily costs $100 million or significantly more, depending on the development time, the studio size, and where that studio is located. So that easily means that the game needs to sell several million copies to justify their budgets, which naturally pushes publishers towards safer bets. For Microsoft, that means accelerating Fallout and Elder Scrolls projects. But right now it seems that if you are not on those franchises, you might be on the chopping blocks. It's honestly surprising that the previous leadership did not immediately try to find a way to make a new mainline Fallout project happen after acquiring Bethesda. Not capitalizing on the momentum from the Fallout TV series feels like a huge missed opportunity and could have improved Microsoft's financial outlook in major ways. Fallout 4 generated $750 million in a single day when it launched in 2015 and sold over 12 million units. Previous leadership was okay with waiting until like 2035 for a new Fallout game, which is insane, and maybe having this success would allow these other teams to focus on more artistic projects that originally helped fill out Game Pass. But yeah, that obviously did not happen, so now we're hearing that studios including id Software, Machine Games, and Arcane Leon might also be in trouble. id Software released Doom the Dark Ages last year, and it was reportedly way less successful than the previous two Doom titles, something that likely does not help justify the studio's position to a highly data-driven leadership team. Indiana Jones from Machine Games also did not set the world on fire commercially, and it's unclear whether Wolfenstein 3 would perform significantly better. Arcane Leon is also not known for making games that sell like plus 10 million, although Blade, if executed well, could certainly perform strongly, but then you have to ask, what does profitability look like when Marvel also takes a share? Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I agree with any of this, but I would be very sad if any of these Bethesda studios disappeared because they consistently delivered 80 plus Metacritic games easily. Right now we have to wait and see. These cuts are expected at the end of Microsoft's financial quarter, so after June 30th, although we will likely hear a lot more in the next few days, and I will of course keep you up to date here on the channel and on my other channels. Fingers crossed. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. I really hope they don't cut some of these Bethesda studios. That would be very, very sad indeed. Now let's move on to more gaming news. We also got some good news, luckily. Leave a like. That would really help me out. And subscribe, because I post one of these big gaming news Roundup videos every Sunday. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced has gone gold, meaning the game is almost done. They're still working on a day one patch of course, but the game is now being printed onto discs and sent to manufacturers. July 9th is close. I'm excited to relive the story again, but now with the many improvements and modernized gameplay. I've actually been playing the final update of Shadows a lot this week, and I think that's a pretty good way to prepare, because Black Flag Resynced feels somewhat similar to Shadows gameplay wise in a good way. There are definitely things Shadows did not do well, but they absolutely nailed the stealth and combat. We also got a video highlighting the pre-order items. Like, if you're still on the fence, I would totally wait for reviews, of course, and then you will probably still have plenty of time to pre-order after those drop. I will share my thoughts before launch, stream the game, make tips and tricks videos as you would expect, and I still have a cool pre-launch video as well planned, so stay tuned for more Black Flag Resynced coverage here on the channel, and let me know your hype level in the comments. But first, the sponsor that is making this Sunday video possible, Dune Awakening, that just announced that they're getting a single player mode and are also coming to console with all the content that is now available on PC and more. Like, being able to explore this world in a video game was always appealing to me, but as you know, I'm not too much of a multiplayer person, so having other people run around and even able to destroy my base or take my resources kind of turned me off. So it's really awesome that they are now doing a single player mode where you can experience the multiple story missions this game has, plus explore the deep desert and all its content completely solo. Also, the endgame activities that first required multiple players will now have computer controlled NPCs, so there's still that feeling of a faction conflict, and they're now also letting you tweak how fast you earn XP or how durability works and other survival elements to make the game less grindy. So some really great changes and additions that will be available on PC and when the console version launches on September 22nd, just in time for the third movie. Now let me know if you're interested in this in the comments down below, and you can pre-order the game now through the link in the pinned comment, which would really support the channel as well. Insomniac is adding the fresh start suit from Spider-Man Brand New Day to Spider-Man 2 on July 28th, just in time for the new movie. Spider-Man 2 has quietly been selling a lot. Alinea Analytics, who have a great track record, know that since the October 2023 launch, Spider-Man 2 has now generated $1.2 billion on PS5 and reliably spikes every holiday season. We learned from the Insomniac leak that the game's budget was around the $315 million, which obviously still a lot, although not uncommon again for AAA games these days. But yeah, it's safe to say that it made a healthy profit even after Marvel's reported 30% cut. And it also seems like the Venom game is still happening and could already launch in 2027. It was likely planned as a PS6 cross-gen launch title, but there's a high chance the console won't make it next year. Embracer Group, the company behind games like Metro, Kingdom Come and Tomb Raider, noted this week that they expect the next generation to slip to 2028 or 2029. Which only makes sense looking at the component crisis, but I do think that that means that the Xbox console might launch earlier than PlayStation 6. The original Black Ops and Black Ops 2 are being ported to PlayStation in July by Iron Galaxy, the studio that also co-developed the Spyro and Crash trilogy remasters, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection and many other projects. These ports will include the campaign, multiplayer and zombies, but likely won't feature updated graphics and will instead simply make the games playable on modern PlayStation consoles. Let me know if it is exciting to you in the comments down below. In the rumor roundup, I look at the biggest leaks and rumors of the week and rate them with stars, 3 being I believe it and 1 means let's take this with a huge grain of salt. Cheap as Gamer posted that the release date for Onimusha may have changed. So during Summer Game Fest, we learned that this promising action-adventure game would launch on Friday, September 25th, but now a Canadian retailer, P&P Games, has listed the game for Friday, September 4th, meaning the release is 3 weeks earlier. September 25th was around the same period as Control Resonant, Silent Hill Townfall, and early access for Ace Combat 8, so it would certainly be a better release window for most September games, apart from Blood of Dawnwalker, which launches on September 3rd, and they will likely be hurt by this decision. Now, there was a hands-on preview event for Blood of Dawnwalker in the US, as we can see from footage here shared by Paris Lilly, who attended the event, so we should hear more about the game very soon. I'm holding my fingers crossed. For now, I'm giving this new Onimusha release date leak 2 stars, although I'm leaning towards 3, because I think this might be right, but only one retailer is currently listing this date. Capcom's official channels still say September 25th. So I will keep you posted and let me know if this would change anything regarding the games you plan to pick up in September. So yes, this coming week will be huge. Potentially a new GTA 6 trailer to celebrate pre-orders going live on June 25th. I'm also expecting some new Black Flag info as we get closer to launch, and I want to get another video on the game out as well. Unfortunately, we will probably also hear a lot of difficult news surrounding Xbox and potentially other gaming companies doing layoffs at the end of the quarter, with rumors suggesting that Sony could cut Bungie's workforce significantly, EA potentially doing layoffs as their acquisition is closing, and perhaps way more. I will of course cover everything in next week's Sunday video. I will also go live with my weekly news stream on Wednesday on the React channel, a link to that in the description. Thanks again to Dune Awakening for sponsoring this Sunday video. Without their support, these videos would not be possible. There's a link with more information about the game in the pinned comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.